How to build a corpus of 10 crore rupees is a question on a lot of people's minds. And we thought who better to answer this than someone who has over 30 years of experience in the Indian financial markets. Please welcome Mr. Vijay Mantri.
One of the best or the most important thing about investing is not return but longevity. Why Indian women are the greatest investors? Why Indian women made money in gold? Because they didn't listen to anybody. They kept buying at every price with intention to never sell. I worked with HDFC Mutual Fund, so I'm talking about HDFC. If anybody invested 10,000 rupees per month in that fund, what is the corpus today? Approximately 21 crore.
Nifty 50 has been the worst performing index. Sir, you've said that before. Why is that?
Nifty 50 index fund underperformed TRI by 1.125% every year.
सर आपने पहले कहा है कि इंडियन मार्केट्स एक इंडियन थाली की तरह होते हैं और ना कि एक सिंगल डिश की तरह. सो वी थॉट कि ये कॉन्वर्सेशन हमें एक कलरफुल इंडियन थाली के ऊपर ही करनी चाहिए एंड व्हाट बेटर वे टू डू दिस. Hello sir, how are you?
Good.
Good to have you here. It's a pleasure.
This is great. The first time I'm doing it because food is very close to me and it's very interesting when you look at the food and when you look at how does people look at investment product. So when you ask people about any investment product, the first thing they target is return. Kitna paisa banega. But that is the byproduct of where you invest and how you invest. The most important thing is that how do you invest. So for instance, if you look at food, what is the essential function of food? The essential function of food is to provide nutrition to your body and provide energy.
Right.
But what drive food habits?
Taste.
So when you look at investing, return is not the only thing you should target, and we have seen people making mistake just by looking at return. In India, the kind of diversity you get in every walk of life is incredible. So yes, it is like a thali. It is just not driven by one dish alone.
Good to know. So, sir, to give you some context, our audience is anywhere between 30 to 45 years old, right? So, let's say that someone at 30 is starting from scratch and wants to create a 10 crore corpus. How should they go about it?
So, very simple rule. Let's assume we are doing XR of 12% only, which is very simple to I don't think it is very difficult to achieve. So, if you start a 1 lakh rupees SIP per month, you can achieve a corpus of 10 crore around in 21st year. Before 21st year. But however somebody want to achieve this number faster, they can do step up. So every year you get salary increment and all that. Increase your SIP amount by just 10% per annum compared to what you did in last 12 months. Okay. Once you do that, the number of 21 year come down to 16 years. So huge 5-year drop by just adding 10% to your SIP. So instead of increasing your expenses, if you just keep adding your investment, I think it will be a great thing to do for your future.
Right. And if someone wants to achieve this number even more aggressively, for example, a lot of our audience, let's say in their mid-30s and all the incomes increase, and if they're able to keep their lifestyle pretty much flat and can increase their investments, how aggressively can one reach this corpus? By, let's say, increasing the investment amount.
So if you increase the amount to maybe 2 lakh rupees, then the numbers come down to more dramatically. Maybe before, I think 15 year on an average, and if you do step up, then I think 12, 13 year, the number is possible to achieve.
And how can one achieve a 10 crore corpus in 10 years?
10 crore corpus in 10 years is very difficult because if you invest just 4 lakh rupees per month, for a 10-year period, and let's assume 12% X IRR, you will get to 10 crore corpus. Alternatively, what you can do, suppose you have 2.5 to 3 crore rupees. In Indian market, on an average, every 5 years, the money doubled. But let's assume that money doesn't double in 5 years, it may double in 6 years, it may double in 6.5 years, 7 years. You can start with 3.5 crore corpus, it will become 10 crore corpus in a 10-year period. Or you can have combination of both. You can have some 1.5 to 2 crore lump sum and then do 2 to 3 lakh rupees SIP. Or you can have SIP and annually keep adding 25, 30 lakh, 25, 30 lakh. You will easily achieve the 10 crore corpus. It is not an impossibility. What I'm predicting achieving 10 crore target will not be a challenge. But 10 years down the line, the 10 crore will not remain 10 crore. So you should also take into consideration not the inflation number, but the rise in our living standard. All these thing factor has to be considered, and then the corpus need to be built.
So, sir, of course, the plan that you've shared might work for someone who has a high income and is able to invest so much, right? But let's say someone who can't afford to invest 4 lakhs every month or such high lump sum amounts every year. How can they go about creating a meaningful corpus?
So one of the best or the most important thing about investing is not return but longevity. And longevity is longer you invest, a product has to be so good that you can invest for the long period of time. So in my opinion, if you have a smaller amount, say 1 lakh rupees per month to invest, then extend your time period from 10 years to maybe 20 years period. But in that way, what is very fascinating to keep this in mind, when you're targeting 10 crore corpus, suppose you're starting with 50,000 rupees per month, let's assume you're starting only with 50,000 rupees per month.
Okay.
First 1 crore will take you close to 10 years. Second 1 crore will come in 4 to 5 years. Third will come in 3 years. Fourth, fifth, sixth will start coming in 18 months, 16 months, and last 10 crore will accrue in 10-month period. And then the corpus itself will keep adding close to 1 crore rupees. So it is very important, and most of the people loses out in first 10-year period. And that's why most people don't achieve that number. So patience is very, very important. When you're talking about 10 crore target or how to achieve, why Indian women are the greatest investors? What Indian men can learn from Indian women?
Consistently buying gold.
Why Indian women made money in gold? Why? Because they didn't have any view. They didn't listen to anybody. They kept buying at every price with intention to never sell, because they have seen performance of this product for last 3,000 years. So there's a belief in our psychology, the belief in the way we live. Gold market gira, gold mein paisa dal do. Gold toota, the gold mein paisa dal do. So it become a part of our daily living. It's become a second nature to us.
Yeah.
If we create similar kind of attitude toward equity, we'll win the battle. But today that belief is not there for very simple reason that gold has a 3,000-year history. Investing through managed asset is just 20, 30 years old story. So it didn't have enough, credential. But now the credential is coming. I worked with HDFC Mutual Fund, so I'm talking about HDFC Flexi Cap Fund. If anybody invested 10,000 rupees per month in that fund for last 30 years, so 10,000 per month, 1,20,000 rupees in a year, 12 lakh for a 10-year period, 24 for 20-year period, and 36 lakh for 30 years period.
Okay.
Now we invested 36 lakh rupees. What is the corpus today? Approximately
No, you tell me, sir.
21 crore. You invested 10,000 rupees SIF for a 30-year period in HDFC Flexi Cap, and the corpus is 21 crore rupees today. It is a reality.
My God.
The question is not that. The question is how many people stay for 30 years. People keep jumping. Okay. If you stay on the course, you will make tremendous money.
But sir, so of course SIP is a great product, right? And there's this thing कि आप disciplined रह के invest करेंगे and you'll be sorted. But does that mean that one should not try to time the market at all? Does it not matter कि जब market कम चल रहा है तो you should invest more? Should one try to optimize for such things or not?
I think if you can do that when the markets are not doing well, and if you can invest at that time, is fantastic way of investing. But people are not able to do it. People can talk about it, but achieving it is impossible.
Okay.
So I would ask, 4 years back, were people are looking at investing in gold when gold was not doing well?
No.
When the asset price goes up, then it correct. That is the time people say कि अभी नीचे level पर डालना चाहिए. But I agree with you. In equities, suppose you're able to invest when the markets are lower and lower, I think will create more wealth for yourself.
So sir, what kind of volatility should one expect while building a corpus this big?
So in no great fortune can ever be made on the path of certainty. All great fortunes are made on the path of uncertainty only. But you need to understand the volatility will not go away. What we need to change is our behavior. So equity market first is a reflection of what you are. Actually, is a mirror. If you see volatility, it will be volatility. If you see scam, it will be scam. If you see wealth, it will be wealth. So जो आपको दिखेगा ना वही आप जो आपका मन है वही वो दिखाएगा.
आप skeptical हो तो आपको
वही दिखेगा. हर जगह scam में दिखेगा आपको. So volatility will be there. And if I'm an equity investor, I want volatility. I want more volatility. Because volatility provides me opportunity to invest when perhaps nobody wants to invest. And if you're really smart, whenever the market fall more, you not only do your SIP, but also step up at that time. One of the best tool I've seen how to counter volatility. You invest amount, a fixed amount, and you see the portfolio valuation, okay?
Right.
When the portfolio valuation is below your cost of capital, whatever the cost of your investment,
yeah.
whatever the difference, if you keep filling that difference, so suppose you invested 10,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees. At the end of 3 months, 30,000 has become 27,000 for argument's sake. At that time, you invest 3,000 more. If you're able to do that, then the kind of return you will get. And if you don't believe in this, you can run this number on Nifty, you can run this number on gold, you can run this number on Nifty 500. The kind of return you will get is incredible. Another thing to keep in mind, whenever someone say that active fund underperform TRI, can you invest in TRI? You can't invest in TRI. The right benchmark to do is to compare index fund, so active fund with index fund. The mathematics changes dramatically. Third factor to keep in mind,
So active fund with the respective index.
people do respective indices. So they look at TRI,
Huh.
total return index. But can you invest in total return index?
No.
So
But
where,
small cap you can compare to small cap 250.
yes, you do a small cap, but what is the point of comparing a small cap 250 TRI? You should compare with a small cap 250 index fund.
Right. Of course.
Okay, or Nifty 50 index fund, and you will be surprised to know. Let's look at Nifty 50 index fund. This is the most popular index fund in India, indices. Okay,
Right.
there's a gap between within Nifty 50 fund between the best Nifty 50 index fund and the worst Nifty 50 index fund, and again the gap is 1%. And other point to keep in mind is asset weightage return. When people say that certain number of percentage of active fund does not outperform, they forget asset weightage. And let me explain what is asset weightage. For instance, there's a one fund which is 60,000 crore and there's a one fund which is 600 crore. And let's assume there are only two funds in the category.
Okay.
60,000 crore fund is outperforming, but 600 crore fund is underperforming.
Okay.
What will your data will tell you? 50% of funds are not outperforming. But is there a fair comparison where 60,000 crore funds are? So I looked at index fund, I looked at asset weightage fund. So the 45% outperformance goes up to 76, 77% outperformance.
Okay.
And one of the most important thing, we don't want to choose. But you know how many index funds are there in India? Nifty 50, Nifty Next 50, Nifty 100, Nifty 200, Nifty 500, then BSE, then low volatility, alpha, high quality, momentum. We have around 300 plus index fund or ETF in India, variety. कौन सा लेंगे भाई आप? Now we have industrial, Mahindra Group indices, Aditya Birla Group indices, Tata Group indices. We have indices, we have capital market indices, capital market intermediaries index fund. So which one will we choose? Even there you need help.
Yeah. So you're saying that even in index investing, it's not that straightforward. You still have to pick the right,
Which one do you
passive fund.
pick?
So might as well just pick a better active fund and increase your chances of just making getting like a better performance.
Yes, because let's look at flexi cap fund. Suppose today you say I want to invest in Nifty 50 or Nifty 500 or for instance I want to invest in a small cap index fund or defense index fund. Let fund manager decide whether they want to move from which sector of the economy, which factor investing from large cap to mid cap or a small cap. And they have a 30-year track record in India.
Nifty 50 has been the worst performing index. Sir, you said that before. Why is that?
On average, Nifty 50 index fund underperformed TRI by 1.125% every year. Because the way Nifty 50 has been constructed, it is based on free float. So what is the meaning of free float? non-promoter holding is counted as a free float. So for instance, if I look at TCS and HDFC Bank, their market cap can be identical, but TCS have a higher promoter holding. So the weightage of TCS in Nifty 50 is just 4%. HDFC Bank, by definition, it is a bank. Promoter holding can't be more than 25%. So 75% is free float. So HDFC Bank weightage is more than 10% in Nifty 50. By definition, banks are, because of the nature of the business, they are hugely capitalized, and because of regulation, 75% is non-promoter holding. So what happened? Huge capitalization, free float, make Nifty 50 a completely dominated force through banks. And that is the reason in 2025, you see Nifty delivering 10.5% return. As individual portfolio done that, because individual portfolio didn't have too many banks at that time. But equally fascinating part to see is that large part of India, where the most fascinating things are happening, is not even part of Nifty 50. Defense, where is a part of Nifty? Aerospace industry, lot of consumer company, lot of fintech, consumer tech company where people like PowerUp is there. If suppose PowerUp get listed today, it will not be part of Nifty 50, where most exciting things are happening in the part of the economy is not even part of, because it's a completely free float story. And if you have to go to large cap, your minimum market cap has to be 1 lakh crore. For instance, let's look at Gold Finance Company. It's very fascinating journey. 10-year gold return, 15% CAGR, Nifty 12%, 13% CAGR. The two gold finance companies delivered 30% CAGR in 10-year period, but they are not part of Nifty. So many exciting businesses are not part of the Nifty 50 because they are not large enough yet. But the growth potential there is much, much higher. And that's why I keep saying that Nifty 50 will remain one of the worst performing indices.
But in 2025, Nifty 50 was actually the best performing index. So why was that?
Why was because the bank has done very well. So bank have a heavy weightage in Nifty 50, and that is the reason the bank, if you look at, for instance, what contributed to Nifty 50, it is really amazing. Shriram Finance, BEL, Hindalco Industries. Who dragged Nifty 50's return? ITC, Tech Mahindra, Wipro, TCS, HUL, Trent Limited. These companies actually dragged index performance. So it will keep, you will have a year where Nifty 50 may do very well. But if you really believe that India is like a thali, then you have every ingredient contributing to it, and that ingredient may not be entirely packed in the Nifty 50.
Right. So if someone still wants to invest in an index fund, which index would you recommend they should invest in?
So in my opinion, somebody want to invest in index fund, then Nifty 50 Nifty 500 could be a decent way to look at it. But I would recommend look at beyond index, look at theme. India is changing massively. If you want to make money in the market, people say ROE, ROC, all these things are post facto.
Yeah.
What is the most important thing to see is where the people's spending habits are changing. And there we are seeing fascinating things are happening on people's spending habit. Let's look at, for instance, cosmetic product. 30 years back, I remember my mom telling my sister, beta, this product, cosmetic product we need to buy. So my mom and my sister used to go and buy a female cosmetic product from a male shopkeeper. That was 30 years back. Today, girls in our families are telling, Mummy, this product has been endorsed by Rihanna, so we need to buy this product. So decision making has moved from mother to daughter and from physical to digital. So today, the way cosmetic products are marketed is not through distribution, it's through celebrity endorsement.
But people struggle in choosing the right theme, right? I mean, of course, you've given a great example that look around you and you will very easily be able to identify where consumption is increasing and where is it stagnant. But is it that easy to pick a theme?
No, not at all. So I'll tell you what is the best way to pick a theme. Is little counterintuitive. Don't pick a theme which is done exceedingly well, because that perhaps the time to start unloading that theme. And it is very important here to understand difference between thematic fund and sectoral fund. Lots of people confuse theme and sector as one. And unfortunately, AMFI also show both thematic fund and sectoral fund data together. But very interestingly, if you see the number today total AUM, theme and sectors fund AUM is greater than FlexiCap's AUM. So smart money is actually already start moving in theme and sector. And why it is happening, I'll tell you. First, let me explain the difference between theme and sector. In sectoral fund, the number of stock to choose are limited. Second, within the index, few stock weightage become very big. So for instance, IT industry, 5 stock is 85% of the portfolio. Defense, 10 stocks are all indices. So number of stock to choose are limited. Weightage of few stocks become very big. Third, the revenue pool looks similar. So for instance, defense, the revenue pool will be similar. IT revenue pool will be similar. Railways, infra, the revenue pool will be very, very similar. When you look at thematic fund, the number of companies to choose is much bigger. The pool of revenue is very divergent. So for instance, let's look at BFSI. It is just not bank. So on lending side, within bank, you have PSU, private, microfinance, you have digital bank, all kind of bank. Then you have NBFC, gold loan company, housing finance company. Then you have capital market intermediaries. You have a rating agency, custodian, asset management, distribution, stock exchanges. Everybody is there. And the revenue pool is very different. Suppose people stop investing in mutual fund and start investing, buying houses. You have a housing finance company. People buy more gold and they give more jewelry on mortgage. You have a gold finance company. So revenue pool could be really complementary. So BFSI, in my opinion, is a great theme for India because our economy is getting more and more formal. And the reason is use of mobile phone. Today, everything is... Second is healthcare is becoming bigger and bigger for India. The number of diagnostic center, number of time we are visiting diagnostic center has gone up. Manufacturing will become a very big theme. And if I have to make one prediction, I'm telling you, in last 40, 50 years, the kind of industries in which you worked, like chartered accountant, fund manager, consultancy, all these things is a great period. They will still continue to do well. But in next 20, 30 years, the biggest guy in this country is going to be people who are working at 40-degree heat in the plant in Bharuch. Wahan bada engineers, the guy who are really nuts and bolts guys, they will perhaps, they will become much more valuable. And we have seen that, for instance, today, nursing staff has become very, very, it's a great job as nursing staff has become a great job. They even, if given a choice, whether you want to be an air hostess or nursing staff, you should become nursing staff because the job demand is very, very high there. So there's a difference between sector and theme. And within theme, I think what you need to do is to pick a theme where you see mega trend. So mega trend we see in healthcare. Large part of population is above 55 years of age. Once you may stop eating noodle, but if you if you have BP or diabetes, then the medicine will not go away for 30, 40 years. So you have, healthcare is a mega theme, very honestly, in India. Manufacturing a mega theme. BFSI will become mega theme. So all these things are, in my opinion, 10 to 20 years. Instead of being plain index fund, you just pick these fund, handle these fund, these theme will be a little more volatile than Nifty 50 or indices. But opportunity to make money is going to be much, much bigger in these themes than perhaps in frontline indices. So your question of 10 crore, if somebody want to make money faster, then I think just go beyond these index and just focus on if you can create a decent portfolio of a great theme, I think you will do well in life.
A lot of people struggle with the entry and exit timing in sectoral and thematic funds. Of course, you have mentioned what kind of sectors one can invest in 2026. How to determine when to exit these?
So it's a very good question. I think I must compliment if is a very simple question but very difficult to answer. So in sectoral fund, what it should do? So in 2020-21, we took a call on to invest in PSU equity fund. Because last 10-year return was looking horrible. So whenever return looks very horrible, that is the time we should look at investing in these sectors particularly. So right now, 10-year pharma fund is in single digit. Okay. So it's a great theme to look at investing. Why we took a call in 2023 and to exit completely mid and small cap? Because 10-year returns were 22% CAGR. So topping the chart. So we said we took a very clear call कि यहाँ पैसा नहीं बनेगा बड़ा.
Now it's peaked.
Now it's peaked. अभी भी the struggle has not gone away. Okay, very honestly, and this how the index hide the pain. So if you look at Nifty 50 index, P multiple is 22 because of weightage of banks which are at 15, 16 P multiple. But if you look at 750 stocks in India, the average P multiple is 40. But weightage of banks are so high, it dragged down the average P multiple. So it is very, very important that when you look at picking theme, just keep a simple framework. Just look at last 10 years, India's nominal GDP growth. If India nominal GDP growth has been 12 to 13%, if your fund is delivering around 14, 15% 10 years CAGR, no problem. If your fund is exceeding 18, 19, 20% CAGR over a 10-year period, time to say goodbye. But don't take money out at one go, because when the momentum picks up, the best return comes in last leg. So you should not be missing out that as well. So when we made our client exit from mid and a small cap, we didn't do it one installment. We said, we believe the bubble is building, but don't take money out one go and move. Similarly, when you see 10-year CAGR in any theme is less than 10%, okay, great time to look at. Provided you don't see it is being stagnating. For instance, FMCG 10-year returns may be looking very bad, but there's a big challenge on what will happen to FMCG companies earning going forward. So that is a starting point. But exiting about 20% is absolutely given. So you should use that.
Okay. So also coming back to the corpus thing, right? I mean, we spoke about how to build a 10 crore corpus. And of course, it can take you 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, depending on what amounts you're investing, whether you're stepping up, whether you're not stepping up. Let's say one has reached the corpus. What should be their SWP plan look like?
So good thing to do is to look at taking 6% out. Okay. And second thing, you should not take money out at one go. Suppose you need 50,000, take 10,000 on first, 10,000 on fifth, 10,000 on 20th, 10,000 on 25th. It will provide more compounding to your money. And don't take 1 lakh rupees only. Take 50,000. And when you need, take more money. There's one part of the equation. Second part, if you take out 6%, but the most important thing is that suppose you can delay for 2-3 years, then your corpus will never last. Corpus will never go below the amount you started. Suppose you have 10 crore corpus, and if you can wait out for few years, and after 3 years start taking money out, then even with 8%, your corpus will not go down. So waiting period, once you create a corpus, waiting period is very important. And at 10 years, suppose you created 10 crore portfolio, whatever your desired portfolio, at that time, suppose you see your CAGR of more than 20%, then take more money out and put in a debt. But suppose at that time, you see your CAGR is like 7, 8%, 10%, 12%, give some 2-3 year waiting period, the corpus will last much, much longer. Most important thing in SWP, many people don't explain, is a waiting period.
So you often describe investing as a process of elimination, saying no to 99% of what is available. Can you speak a little more about that?
So in the business of investing, we keep saying the act of omission and act of commission. Act of omission means the investment opportunity which you missed out. And act of omission is that the investment you did, but it didn't go well. So I think act of omissions are okay. Act of commissions are very dangerous because you did something and it didn't do well. So investing is future looking, and future is always uncertain. So whenever you look at investing in any product, we need to ask these 3 fundamental questions. Is my capital safe? Number 1. Second question, how liquid is my investment? But the first question is safety of the capital. If that question is not ticked, don't go to second option called liquidity. First, safety, your 80% product will go away. So I'll give a simple illustration when I say 99% product need to be avoided. For instance, look at debt. When you look at giving money to your friends or anybody, we have 4 C. First is character, second is cash flow, third is covenant, fourth is condition. So when you lend money to someone, what is that person's character? आप उसको जानते कि पैसा देगा कि नहीं देगा वापस. How do you judge a character from a past experiences? If you don't have past experience, you can't give character certificate. The product is not pushing going forward. First is character. After character, cash flow. He has taken money. How will he repay the money? Is the cash flow visible to you? The first is character. If that box is not tick, don't go to cash flow.
Okay.
When the cash flow is tick, then you put condition and covenant. Condition and covenant is when something goes wrong. How do you tie that guy and how do you go take him to the court and all that? But that is not something you want to do in the business of investing. So when you put these two conditions for the safety of the capital, you figure out many investment product, you should not be touching. Last, after taking safety and liquidity, then you should only look at return. But what we end up doing, if we look at return, इसमें 15% आ रहा है, then we give all the justification why this is a great investment option. So you eliminate first at safety level, second eliminate at liquidity level, third eliminate at the return become then the byproduct, and then you look at tax efficiency. So whenever you look at investing, do preemptive analysis, not post-mortem. Most of the time we do post-mortem. ये हो गया, market गिर गया, मेरा portfolio गिर गया. No. Before you invest, you say, what will happen suppose geopolitical get played out this way? What will happen if the market Nifty doesn't deliver return for 2 years? What will happen if GDP don't expand? What will happen if the corporate earning doesn't go up? Ask these questions beforehand. When you do that, you will eliminate lots of products. So once you eliminate, then only whatever is left, you pick it up.
Got it.
Yeah.
So coming to that, sir, how many mutual funds should one hold in their portfolio and what kind?
So ideally, 4 or 5 flexi cap will do your job. But we don't live in an ideal world. Human being want variety. I have clients, अरे आप वही बताते हो, कोई नया चीज तो बताइए.
Simple नहीं पसंद.
नहीं, अच्छा चल रहा सब कुछ, everything is going well. कुछ नया, आप तो यार वही बात करते हो, कुछ नया. So if I don't want to lose my client, I have to keep entertaining them. I can't become purist and, else I will lose the client and client will damage himself. He will go to somebody who will give him very interesting story. What very interesting story, ये कर लीजिए, वो कर लीजिए.
Right.
And we have seen. So if you do a investor awareness program where you will say, we will help you to make financial plan. Let's see how many people will attend. And if you do investment program where you say, I will teach you how to make quick money through F&O, where you will get more people.
The second one.
As simple as that.
So in this less than ideal scenario, what kind of funds should people invest in and how many funds should they have in their portfolio?
So I think core should be flexi cap and multi cap maybe, and you could have around 60%, 70% in these. And you want to do a little masti, then do buy some small cap, but buy all other things when the returns are not looking very good. Not when the returns are looking very good. It is
So buy small cap when small cap is not doing well.
Yes.
So then right now is a good time to buy small
but
cap,
not
right?
still the 10-year returns are 20%, 18%.
So you're saying that even more correction is needed for it to become an ideal time to buy small cap.
Other way to look at it is that there are better value available outside. So why not put money there? And then once this become attractive, then you look at investing.
Where is that?
So we'll see when the earning keep going up. We'll see when a small cap become really, really attractive. When a small cap 10-year return come down to below 12, 13%. Great time to look at, because in my opinion, most fascinating thing in India will happen in the small mid cap.
Got it. And so how does the ideal portfolio mix change for someone who's in their 20s, 30s and 40s?
So people say that 100 minus your age should be your equity portfolio. I don't believe in that. So I look at very simple way, very practical way of doing it. Whatever money you need in next 3 years, 5 years, 3 years, your household expenses, your kids' wedding, education, every year should sit and plan. Next 3 to 5 year money, that money should be kept in debt and debt only. But on that, you should not even think of return even for a moment. You should think safety, safety, safety.
But that could be a little impractical for someone in their 20s, let's say, who are just trying to invest whatever they can.
Yeah. So for young people, it is very honestly depend on how predictable the cash flows are. If you believe they have a great qualification, they will continue to work, then they can put the entire thing into equities. Very honestly. Else, I'm just talking about normal people. If your cash flows are not predictable, then first create this pool.
Okay.
And within that pool, you can do something very interesting. Even 3 to 5 years, the money you need in you can put in debt, and whatever gain you get in debt, you transfer into equity. So your principal is protected, but your portfolio get created. Even for those people, there's a solution.
Okay.
थोड़ा दिमाग लगाना पड़ता है. Beyond 5 years, you need to think 5 to 7 years, put that money into hybrid, balance advantage fund, multi-asset fund. Beyond 7 years, money need to go into equities.
Okay.
But keep that thing in mind, only that part of the money on which you can tolerate 20 to 30% volatility. That test an investor need to do himself with the client, with their advisor, because data can be back tested, emotion cannot be back tested. So client may say, "Nahi sir, मैं तो long term investor हूँ." The moment my portfolio goes down 20%, long term goes out of the window. So only when you see clients' behavior, you figure out कि उनको equity allocation कितना देना चाहिए. So it is depend on the predictability of the cash flow. It depend on how fragile the family structure of the person is. Suppose he's the only earning member, is a different issue altogether. Now, health has become a very big consideration when we consider the client portfolio.
Right.
Because we have seen during COVID time, horrible things happen with people. So, and very interestingly, many Indian families are just one disease away from bankruptcy. So it is very important you provide for all that. So just don't chase return alone. You need to have proper financial plan in place where you have a decent allocation into various asset category.
Because I feel like when a person is feeling good about their cash flows or they're in a good place in their life, they're only thinking about returns. And only when a crisis strikes is the picture completely flips. And then they think about the basics, right? Okay, my liquidity and, where can I trust the person where my money is supposed to come from?
Yeah, that's very true. And the reason, and that is the one reason that you say in India, we say Lakshmi don't last for more than 3 generations. Because we don't put a plan in place. And India is what we have witnessed. Suppose you ask me, what is the biggest risk to the investor? The biggest risk I've seen in India in families is the investor's behavior. Investors themselves are the biggest risk. One person made big money in the family. He's the only decision maker, or he carried lots of weight in decision making. The wisdom doesn't pass to next generation or the entire family. It is very important you de-risk from that person.
So I would also love to understand your own journey with finances and money, right? For example, the most difficult part of someone's journey is reaching that first crore milestone. What did that look like for you?
In the very beginning of my career, I got an opportunity to talk about Birla Mutual Fund. I was with Aditya Birla Group. And I don't know what happened. I started loving the product. So from that day onwards, my savings are into, except the property which I have, my entire money has been into equity mutual fund. So I learned from my academics where in the beginning of academic year, if you study hard, during exam time, you don't have too much stress. So I applied the same rule when I started working. I don't know what happened to me. I started saving 50% of my take-home salary and I started putting in mutual fund. So for me, I achieved 1 crore corpus in 6-7 years period. By the year 2000, I had my first crore rupees.
That's amazing. What are some common mistakes and biggest mistakes that people make in their investing, which holds them back?
So I dealt with a security guard who earned 5,000 rupees to somebody 5,000 crore family wealth. His story is absolutely same. Everybody who invests makes money. It is a part of the journey. Nobody can say that they never made a mistake, including me or anybody. So in the business of investing, making mistake is inevitable. The question is that how big is the mistake, and instead of mistake, do you learn from it that what went wrong and you should not be repeating it? Just keep this in mind that don't overexpose to a single thing in life. Don't invest in asset category where returns are fabulously high in last 10 years. If you just keep away from that, you make less mistake. शादी के खाने में पानी पूरी और डिजर्ट पे सबसे ज्यादा भीड़ होती है.
So you have a very positive outlook for the next decade for India?
I was never confident about India the way I am confident about India today. First time perhaps in the world history we are seeing that India is the only country which is getting younger. Rest of the world is getting older. I'm not talking about Bangladesh and Pakistan and Nigeria. I'm talking about, you will see amazing thing happening in this country. You will see the kind of reform which we haven't seen will happen in this country. If you've seen, I don't know whether you've seen recent labor law which has been changed. India would lead in medical care. Who will take care of world when world is aging? So our demography will become and today what happened? UK, many European countries are reducing the criteria for nursing staff to go and give exam in UK. If you work couple of years here, they are ready to employ you. Earlier you used to go and give exam there. Why? So you see many fascinating. You will see Andaman Nicobar will become one of the biggest money spinner in this country. Why? Just like Dubai, just like London, it will become a center for a global capital. So a lot of these things are not it doesn't get enough attention, but I hope somebody replay this after 10 years.
Yeah. No, great positive note to, I think, end this conversation on, sir. This has been extremely, extremely insightful, from talking to you about, like, how to build a corpus, to understanding the macro of where India is, where it is heading, and so much on temperament, which is, such an important factor in investing. I personally had, a great time, and I learned a lot.
Thank you very much.
And I'm sure that our audiences will as well. Thank you so much. Thanks so much for your time, sir.
Thank you, Power of Money, for this opportunity.